Hey, what's going on today, everyone? So today, in this episode, we're going to be changing the U-joints in the drive shaft on this Sportsman 700. I'm going to show you the customer is complaining about a clunking noise as he's driving. Well, yeah, that's a big clunking noise. So we're going to go through how to change it. And the first thing you're going to want to do is there's 3 roll pins. I'll get my little pointer pick here. Yeah. All right, there we go. Okay, so your first pin is here. You're gonna have a pin here. You're gonna want to knock that out with a punch and a hammer. Now, I've already taken these out because nobody wants to watch me do that, but punch and a hammer, knock the roll pin out. If it doesn't come out, sometimes you have to drill them out. So you got one here. You have one here, okay, and you have one here. So once you knock all those pins out, then you can very simply, now granted, sometimes these are stuck on, so you're going to need lots of lubricating oil or penetrating fluid, whatever you want to use, and sometimes you need a pry bar, but this one's actually all freed. It's a slip yoke here, so the front section, just slide it off, and it's getting stuck, so we'll try going the other way. There we go. There we go. Go like that, and then slide off the transmission and pull your drive shaft out, and there we go. There's the drive shaft. Now the hardest part is doing these pins. These pins can be a little bit of a pain in the butt, but once you get them out, pretty easy to slide the shaft out. And let's see here. Oh yeah, she broke. She's no good. So there's the drive shaft, and we're going to be replacing it with new U-joint. So basically, I've slipped the back portion off to make it easier to work on. Now you're going to want to find your clips in here. There's the C-clip. See, it's got little C-clips, and you want to knock those C-clips out. Looks like this, one of them's broken off. That one's already broken off. So basically, to get them out, pick your weapon, whatever you want to use. You can use a chisel, you can use an old screwdriver, a punch, and basically all you have to do is just come in on the, let me find one that'll be easy for me to get at. Okay, let's try the screwdriver on this one. You just come in on the back side here. This is so hard to do on the camera. Okay, we're just gonna come in on the back side like this, take our hammer, and there you go. See, knocked it out. There goes one. Okay, so basically do that on all 4 joints and on the back one, and then we can get to the next step, getting that out. So pretty much, best way to do this is in a vise. You put it in a vise. There's plenty of YouTube videos showing how to change U-joints and stuff like that. Whether it's on a truck, a car, or ATV, they're all the same. But if you don't have a vise, one of the things you can do is just pretty much a couple pieces of wood and just very carefully start whacking it around. And see, I already did loosen it, but you can just back and forth, and you'll get them out. Another thing you can do is, like this one's broken, you can get in here with a pick, okay, or punch, whatever you want. Not a pick, guys, a punch. Okay, you can kind of go like that. You can get into your cup and just start tapping away. Heat is your biggest friend with all this. Lots of heat. And there we go. The other thing you can do is, if you have to, you can break them. You can break the joints in it. There you go. So it's just pretty much Now, like, we've got this one still stuck in there, but we got all the other ones out. So one of the things you can do, again, take an old socket. Old sockets work good, but it can be done without any special tools, without a vise, anything like that. Just have a good grip. Turn it around. There we go. And just, you know, just work at it. And see, it's starting to push it out. A lot of times I heat these things up, let them cool off, heat them up, cool off. But you just keep working at it. Don't get frustrated. Take your time. And there you go. No special tools. A couple pieces of wood, some old sockets, and a hammer. We got a cap still stuck in here. Same thing. Just take your socket. Turn this like this. And just drive it through. Put your socket on. Make sure you got it lined up. And it's starting to drive it. So I'm going to heat this one up a little more. So when we come back, I'll show you how to put these in. All right, and there we go, guys. So this is the all balls U-joint. This is the part number 191005. It's a pretty common Polaris one. And not too bad. Comes with a new roll pin, grease fittings, comes with everything. New C-clips. So, all right, so pretty much what I do is pop your caps off. One at a time. Be careful not to disturb your bearings. They should all stay in there pretty good. Okay. Now, I usually start with this side. Now your grease fitting hole is right here. So you're going to want that to point towards the shaft. That way you can get in here with a grease gun. Now all I do is just hold that up like that. Get your cap started. Make sure you don't push any of your bearings over. Okay. There we go. Get our cap started in. And then push your U-joint up into the cap, just like that. Okay? So now once it's in, all I do... Now you can put these in a vise and push them in. But what I do is... I hold up, make sure the U-joint stays in the cup while you're tapping it in. That way your bearings don't fall out. Okay, there it goes. And then you just keep pushing it in until that you see your C-clip ring come by. And there's our C-clip. Now, this is, take your C-clip, got the package here, stick it in your first one. That way it doesn't, sometimes you can push them in with your fingers, or you just gotta, there we go. Get it started with the hammer, and then using a screwdriver, seat it the rest of the way in. There it goes. Okay, C-clips in. So since my camera just went out on me, we gotta kind of pick up from here. So I got the C-clip in there. I've got the other joint here started. Now, again, you're gonna want to kind of feel it and float that joint between your bearings so the bearings don't pop out. So just float it between the two caps so it's touching bearings on both sides. And like I said, you can put this in a vise, right? Just very simply, and you want to make sure you can go back and forth with it. See, I can go all the way to that seal, goes all the way to that seal, goes all the way to that seal. So none of the bearings have popped out. And just work it back in. Hold the U-joint. You're gonna want to keep moving it. Everything feels good. And then just drive it home. And there we go. Put your C-clip in, and then continue on to your next yoke, onto this side. So I'm going to get this together, and we'll be right back. And there we have it. All done. Pretty straightforward, very easy to do. Just take your time. Doesn't take a lot of force. Now what I always do is check to make sure it moves free. And if it doesn't, here's a little trick that I do. You just kind of take it and give it a couple. There we go. See, it's moving pretty free now. Yeah, a little tight there. So all I do, you can hit the yokes, just little love taps. See, that's free. It's a little stiff that way. And all, there we go. All you're doing is setting the, there we go. Feels good. So then you take, what I generally do is I use the angled one and stick it in here. This way you can grease it and tighten it up. Okay, so now, see, you can get right in here with your grease gun and grease it. You can do it on this side too, but sometimes it gets a little tight. But this side's always a sure shot because it sits in there like this. You get right in there with the grease fitting. So yeah. So let's put the other section on. One of the crucial things is grease. Lots of grease. Never sees grease. It will help you in the long run. So let's get this back in. There you go. Got lots of grease. Line up your holes and your slip. There you go. Make sure it's all in there. I got grease over here and grease on here. So now we can put this back in the bike. And pretty much it's just put this on to the diff and then slide this forward onto the transmission. So let's do that. All right, so we've got the drive shaft back in and made sure that we have all our marks lined up, all our holes. And you can double check by using a bolt. Just making sure that you're in the right spot on them all. And then pretty much, let's just put your roll pin in and take a hammer. And drive it home until it's all the way through. Now the other thing you can do too, if you don't have the roll pins, you can use a nut and bolt. Put a nut and bolt through it with a little bit of Loctite and it'll work just as good as the roll pins. So but yeah, that's about it. So it's pretty simple, it's straightforward, it's not a really hard job. It takes a little bit of patience, but you can get them done. So there's a real easy way of doing your U-joints, and that works for the front shaft and the front CV shafts, all of them. So hope this was informative and I hope everybody liked it. Have a good day and I'll catch you all on the next video.